Success Insight shares the stories of the people with passion and drive who make things happen in the world. Here's your host, Howard Fox.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Small Business Series on the Success Insight podcast. The Small Business Series celebrates founders and owners of small businesses and the professionals working there to deliver exceptional products and services. Our guests today are Gene Cimorelli and Eddie Rodriguez from First Choice Tree Service. First Choice Tree Service is proudly celebrating over 30 years of service to the Las Vegas Valley. Gene is a Senior V.P. and General Manager. His responsibilities include sales as well as business and crew development. He is considered an expert in fuel reduction of Southern Nevada mountain ranges, working closely with the Nevada Division of Forestry and the U.S. Department of Forestry. He is a member of the Southern Nevada Arborist Group and the Western chapter of the International Society of Arboriculture. Now, Eddie is a senior arborist and sales manager. He has over 20 years experience. He is a certified arborist and holds a Tree Risk Assessment Qualification from the International Society of Arboriculture. First Choice Tree Service offers a wide variety of services, including residential and commercial tree care, around-the-clock emergency services, landscape design and transplant services, as well as plant health care and grounds management services. They are also licensed by the State of California Contractors Board and are fully licensed, bonded, and insured. Eddie and Gene, it's a pleasure to have you on the show today. And for our listeners, this is actually a first for us. We are on location at First Choice Tree Service here in Nevada. They have a wonderful location, equipment. There are trees. There are people moving around, working. There's ambient noises. And there's even a little bit of wildlife around us, flying around us. But because we've had a lot of rain here in Southern Nevada, but we're going to push through this because these guys work in some very harsh conditions sometimes, and I know they are trained to push through and get the job done. So we're going to do that today as well. Guys, it's a pleasure to have you both. Before we get started, kind of talking more about First Choice Tree Service, what I'd love to hear from you guys is a little bit more about your background and how you got to where you are today. So Gene, give us that 30,000 foot view.
I was born here in Las Vegas in 1965, and I actually lived behind, or Tony, the owner of First Choice, lived behind me. We grew up together, and at the age of 8, I started mowing lawns with him, and then we stuck together for years. Of course, I did some things off and on, and then I graduated from Bishop Gorman, walked on UNLV, got a football scholarship. Got my degree in science education and was still in the field. We started with landscaping, got into trees, and then I started climbing and doing all that fun stuff. So I've been with Tony over 40 years.
40 years. I mean, you don't look that old. I mean, you look like you just got out of grad school or something like that.
I'm 56 years old and I'm loving life.
I love that. I love that. Eddie, how about you?
I was born and raised in Southern California. I got into the tree business when I was very young. I was such a bad kid that my mother used to chase me around to try to catch me, to spank me, and I would run and I would jump and climb up in the trees. And so that's how I got started climbing trees, and got really good and proficient at it, But all seriousness, I started out in the city of Santa Ana, and that's where I got introduced to doing tree work, and had a person that was in the industry for a long time begin to teach me. And from that point on, I started to learn and take classes and read books and further myself in this business. I wanted to become a good all-around tree guy, and I believe that's what I accomplished. And then I eventually ended up here at First Choice Tree Service, working with Gene and Tony and everybody here. And I've been here since about 2005.
Okay. Okay. Now I heard a rumor you guys are related. You just like yanking my chain here.
Brothers from another mother.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's true. We're brothers, and actually, I look up to him sometimes, and but I still kind of hold a grudge because he was born first and he took all the nutrients from me, which you can see clearly. He's much bigger than I am, so
He's packing some things on those arms.
yeah, he's packing the muscles on the arms, and so I'm not. Yeah, sometimes I like him and sometimes I don't. But no, we've been friends for a very long time, and people feel we have such a good relationship that people really ask us, are you guys brothers?
Yeah.
Are you guys family?
My family loves him. I mean, just, like I do. I mean, I call him Mr. Encyclopedia of Arboriculture. But it's just a bond that we have, and we're the dynamic duo. That's how I look at it. Yeah.
Fantastic. So, Gene, tell us a little bit more about First Choice Tree Service. I mean, you're well known throughout the state of Nevada, obviously in California, but I do see your trucks. I've even seen you guys come to the rescue out in Boulder City for the spring jamboree when we had a windy day and all of a sudden there's a tree issue potentially happening and you guys showed up. So you guys are doing a lot. You got a reputation here in Nevada, especially Southern Nevada, but give us more of a big picture about what are the products and services that you provide?
Products and services. That's a big question here. I mean, you look at the size of our company. We're the largest tree company in the state of Nevada. We do transplanting, we do plant health care, tree removal, tree trimming, palm trimming. As you can see probably in the background, you see them dumping basically wood chips in the back of a truck. We don't take that to the dump. We usually get that processed with the Southern Nevada. I can't think of it right now.
We work with a lot of orchards and different communities, and we even go as far as Pahrump to drop chips off at some wineries and things like that. Just all over the valley.
Cooper Extension. That's what I was trying to figure out there.
Excellent. See, I can tell now why you're related because you're finishing each other's sentences.
Yeah.
So this is good. This is good. This is good. This is important. And when I moved out to the desert 2 years ago, I grew up in the Midwest. I'm used to seeing trees. Got out to the desert and I'm used to seeing sand and hike in mountains and rock. And frankly, it surprised me that there were palm trees out here. First thing I have to ask, are palm trees native to Southern Nevada?
There has to be some kind of creek or stream in the desert, which there are areas like that. If you look at Warm Springs in Logandale and you have a stream running through it, you're going to find just naturally grown palm trees all throughout. There are thousands of them. So there's got to be some water associated with it. But yes, they can exist, and they are mainly, they thrive and do well in the desert environment.
Okay. Now, a question that I have, and I want to talk more about the water situation we're having here, throughout the West, especially Nevada, Southern Nevada. Are palm trees an ideal plant to put into someone's home, someone's community? I mean, obviously we're in Nevada. Just down the road is the Strip and these magnificent casinos, which I know you guys support those casinos and all the arboriculture work that's going on there. But are palm trees, are they, so let's say, adding value to the environment and to the situations we're having, or are they takers?
That's a great question, and I'm glad you asked that. Because palm trees are really, we consider them to be a very high maintenance plant. They actually use the most water than any other plant we have out there. And they do very little for the environment as far as carbon sequestering, pulling out carbons from the air and making oxygen. They do very little for our atmosphere, and they use the most water, and they grow really fast. And so it's a great question, and that the cities are now addressing and looking at, and they're starting to remove them from the landscape, especially in this environment right now when water is an issue and we don't have much of it. We're starting to pull those out of the landscape and not planting them as much anymore because of their high water use, and what they do for the environment was very little.
Okay, great. I think that is so important, especially today, because you can't even turn on the internet news or go out to YouTube with somebody producing a video about everything that's wrong. And that's why I love being here today with you guys, because, when you get past, everybody has an opinion of something. If somebody wants door number 1, somebody wants door number 2. But what I love about First Choice Tree Service is you're going to help your customer figure out is there a door number 3? Is there an alternative that's going to be even better? And I love that. I would like to hear more. I mean, speaking of hearing more, there's some trucks going behind us. That's cool. Good ambient sound. I imagine there's a lot of development of the team because across a variety of different skill sets. And can you talk us a little bit about the staff structure and how you develop your employees, your team?
How we develop our employees is, so let's say we start from the ground. So we bring in a gentleman, or even a woman to come work here at First Choice. So we start them from the ground up. So dragging brush, coming in there, teaching them and training them on all the equipment. I mean, that's priority one. You can't just put people on equipment and let them, work. We educate them in that way, they process and become a climber. So let's say a climber comes into our business and says, hey, I'm a climber, I want to work. We process, we go through a strategic plan on making sure that he can do what he has to do, but we also want to put him at the ground level first. Where everybody else started, he needs to start it too, to show us that he can do what they can do. Those things like that. It's the same thing in our office, and marketing and everything like that. It strategically, we have to sit down and because right now it's so hard to find good help. And as we grow, we need more employees. So our process is it's strict. It's we're open to people and people that not even knowing anything about this. We will train them and take care of them.